Hello, my dear friends. Today I'm going to tell you something interesting and useful to your day to day life. But before that, I'll ask you something. Do you think you are a very good person? You go to any extent to help the people in requirement or need. You don't say no when someone is asking you help in spite of your own difficulties. If your answer is yes to all these questions, that means you are suffering with gentleman syndrome. Yes, you are a victim of gentleman syndrome. So, what is this gentleman syndrome and how it's going to impact your life? How to say no when required and be successful in the life? We are going to see in the next 4 5 minutes. But before that, let me tell you the gentleman syndrome is not a severe or an acute disease that's going to be life threatening, but it is definitely a chronic disorder that's going to steal your peace of mind and hamper your quality of life. That is the reason we should pay attention to that and come out of it. So, when someone doesn't hurt others by virtue of their words, deeds, or actions, they are known as gentlemen. But when someone is seeking an image of gentleman in the eyes of others, that is the beginning of problem, and that's called gentleman syndrome. In life, we are going to work with so many people at so many different scenarios and to get so many results to be successful and blissful in the life. And whenever we work with people, we will adapt certain strategies, we will use certain yardsticks and be successful in the life or work towards the success in the life. So all these strategies or all these yardsticks are going to fall under one of the 4 categories broadly defined in Indian scenario. So what are these categories? Sama, Dana, Bheda and Dandopaya. Sama is something like a gentleman approach. People will discuss, they reach understanding, they reach consensus, and the job is done. It is a win-win scenario. Dana is some kind of give and take policy. Person is offered something and he will do something for the sake of others and both are happy. Again, it is a win-win scenario. And Bheda is some kind of tricky approach. Person is going to create differences among his opponents, create some misunderstandings, develop some communication gap and take advantage of that scenario and get his job done in his favor. And finally, Dandopaya. This is when all other 3 yardsticks or 3 approaches are not helpful. This is the ultimate option. So here the person is going to take tough decisions, take harsh actions, and he is going to be very bold and strict and stringent to get his job done. Finally, he gets the result. And now let me know, when somebody is looking for a gentleman approach, is he going to use Bheda or Dandopaya? No, right? Meaning what? Already he gave up his 2 options. In other words, his success chances are cut down to 50%. And as a result, most of the times the person is going to face failure. Whenever the person works for himself, or when he represents his company, or when he is working for his family, whenever there is a level playing scenario, whenever he is in a negotiation or discussion, or whenever he will work for something against something else, he is going to be a loser, because people are going to take advantage of his gentleman image seeking behavior. And as a result, his life is going to be pathetic. I'll give you one classical example of one Indian king, Mr. Prithviraj. Prithviraj is no doubt a great emperor and a great warrior too. He defeats his opponent so many times, not once, twice or thrice, but more than 10 times. And every time he wins, he will excuse his opponent and leave him, lets him go. And one unfortunate day, Mr. Prithviraj himself loses the war, but his opponent never gave him a second chance. And the life of Mr. Prithviraj ends in a very pathetic manner. Yes, you can refer to this history and it's going to be very much interesting as well as learning. So what we should learn here is, be like a rose with people, no problem when the situation is supporting, but you should also learn to be like a thunderbolt if the situation is demanding. Otherwise, the life is going to be very much challenging. And how to say no? In life, we may have to say no so many times so that we are going to come out of the hardships. Whenever people approach us for some favor which is beyond our capacity, for example, someone may come to us asking for a bank guarantee. Somebody may approach us seeking a huge hand loan, or they may come to us proposing an investment plan which may not be yielding anything to us. And then what we should do? First and foremost, please realize you don't have to be the gentleman of that particular moment. Say no. And then tell the person why your answer is no. Meaning, just give him the logic. And then tell him to what extent you can be helpful or you are interested in the proposal. Finally, extend your best wishes. It is a simple 4-step strategy. Say no. Tell the logic why your answer is no. To what extent you can help, let him know that, and extend your best wishes. After all this, if the person is still unhappy with you, it is not your problem, it is that person's problem, and you don't have to worry for that. And being assertive, being clear, being frank, and being harsh. All these things, they have their own way of understanding by people. In most of the cases, if we are assertive, that is more than enough. But what people do in general, they tend to be harsh with the people when they are supposed to be assertive. And more the person is harsh, his image is going to be hampered. Because every one of us are having 3 types of personality images. What we think of ourselves, what others think of ourselves, and what is ourselves actually. So strike balance between what you are and what you think you are. But don't ever look at others for a solution, because that's going to hamper you. Look into yourself, do the inner engineering, bridge the gap, be successful, and enjoy the life. So my dear friends, I told you what is the gentleman syndrome, how it's going to impact the life, how to say no, and being assertive. Hope this is all interesting to you. Apply it in your life and be successful in your life. All the best.